All right. So today is March.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we live.
All right, thank you for that, Mark. So today is March 6th, 2024. The time is 7:12 p.m. and I'm calling to order the Baldwin Park City Council regular meeting. Pastor Jackson here. Pastor Jackson, you mind leading us in an invocation?
Heavenly Father, we come before you right now in the name of the Lord and giving you praise, glory, and honor and thanksgiving. Say, recognize you in all of our ways and you will direct our path. And I'm asking you, Lord, and looking up on the mayor, the city council, and all of those that are around about him to help govern the city, Lord, that you will give them wisdom and knowledge and understanding in what to do, when to do it, and how to do it for the betterment of our city. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for the police department that rolls around in the city to make it safe, Lord, and the chief of police with the things that he has to do as well and govern the police department. Our fire department, Lord, we need your attention, period, with all the aspects of the fire department and also our city, those that have businesses in the city, Lord, that the city will prosper through their businesses, Lord, and new business will be able to come into Baldwin Park. Our schools, Heavenly Father, we asking you touching our schools, Lord, our children, Heavenly Father, and we're asking you, Lord, to break the power of drugs, homelessness, Lord, and we're asking you in uniting the children and the parents together in one accord, Heavenly Father. And so, therefore, Lord God, we thank you for everything that you have done for this city called Baldwin Park under the headship of our mayor. In the name of the Lord, we pray. Amen. The United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, City Clerk, can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Estrada,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ayala,
Here.
Councilmember Avila,
Here.
Councilmember Garcia, Councilmember Damian.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. So at this moment, City Attorney, is there anything to report out from closed session?
Thank you, Mayor. Earlier today, the City Council met in closed session as part of the special meeting. The items are listed on the special meeting agenda. All members of the council were present except for Councilmember Garcia, who was not in attendance tonight. I should also add that Councilmember Ayala did not participate on the item relating to the discussion of litigation in Matthew Rodriguez versus City of Baldwin Park to avoid any conflict of interest and appearance of bias. But with respect to all the other items that we had on the agenda regarding litigation, the City Council heard presentations from legal counsel concerning each of those items, and we have City Council provided direction. We have no reportable action. There was also discussion on conference with legal counsel, possible initiation of litigation in the matter of the Colino Avenue project contractor dispute. City Council provided direction to staff and we have no reportable action. We also had possible exposure litigation in the matter of threats of litigation issued during the February 7, 2024 City Council meeting. I should also add that that item has an open session item related to it, but there's no reportable action on that item as well. And finally, we had a conference with real property negotiators concerning property adjacent to Barnes Park identified by the assessor's parcel number on the agenda. City Council provided direction to its negotiating team, and we have no reportable action on that item. That concludes the report.
Thank you, City Attorney. So at this moment, I believe we do not have any more business to discuss in closed session. So I will go ahead and adjourn the special meeting. Can I have a second? Any objections? If not, the special meeting is adjourned and we will continue with our regular business in the regular meeting. We do have a proclamation, commendation, and presentations, and we have a presentation regarding monthly billing, automated meter systems, and water supply updates presented by Valley County Water District General Manager Jose Martinez.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the city council, staff, friends. I do have a presentation. I'm not sure if someone's gonna load it up.
I'm sorry, I did not receive the PowerPoint file.
What was that? You didn't receive
Oh, did we,
Yeah, I have it. in
was
my
it because
pocket.
we did a fact check on it and it didn't go through?
You did a AI fact
Oh.
check. I have it here.
All right. Okay, Jose being well prepared.
I'll go ahead and I do have several of my board of directors here. I have our president Ralph Galvan, our vice president Javier Vargas, and our director David Muse, and I believe our director Pacheco and Leos are online as well. As always, I certainly thank the city council for welcoming me, myself, and our directors to provide a little bit of an update to the water supply conditions here. It seems like every time I show up, it rains. So I might show up a little bit more often. One of the things that in one of the slides last month was certainly a great month as far as precipitation. Received about about 13 inches, but I don't want to blow too much of some of the slides. So hopefully we can. It got disconnected. All right. Well, one thing I did want to highlight, and maybe I can come back to the water conditions because those kind of highlight some pretty good graphs. But what I really wanted to talk about is the completion. The district has completed about just a little under 3-year process of installing advanced meter infrastructure for our residential customers. This actually allows the district to pull readings from each individual customers of their water consumption. With the completion of this project, this allowed us to transition into another major topic is us moving towards monthly billing for our residential. One thing to note for over a decade, we've been billing our commercial customers on a monthly basis. So now we're finally have all our customers unified where everybody gets billed on a monthly basis. So this is made possible by the installation of all these meters. And the benefit of these meters is that it allows us to detect if there's continuous leaks that we can notify the customer, hey, we've noticed that this meter is moving continuously for the past 24 hours, so we can alert them. And having that continuous monitoring of potential water flows or water losses, that can certainly be a conservation, not only for the region of conserving that wasted water, but also for the customer, that they don't have to pay for that water that they may not be aware of that is being wasted. So certainly wanted to update the city of Baldwin Park about the completion of that project. We received about $1.5 million in grant funding for the purchase and installation of these water meters. And that allowed us to, as I took note or made note of, moving to monthly billing. One of the biggest advantages is in that monthly billing is for customers for them to understand, hey, this is exactly what I use for this specific month. Sometimes in monthly billing, you may have a warmer month and a colder month, and you don't know exactly where that water consumption went into. Another thing to note that there were no adjustments to the rates. So for a fixed charge, a customer would actually receive a fixed charge for 2 months. So with the transition into monthly, that fixed charge was cut in half, where they receive
Talking right now.
It's okay, go with him.
half,
Go with you. Okay.
half of one.
Mark, your microphone is on. Mark.
I'll stop them before I'll try to cover up a bit. So that certainly is something to note, that there was no changes to the consumption charge or the fixed charge. The fixed charge was just split in half between the instead of billed for 2, you just paid half of it for each month that falls into that cycle. Another thing to note is that with this advanced technology, we launched an online portal where our customers can actually create their own account username. So they can actually log into their account and see exact numbers and graph for their consumption for the month and kind of look at some of their historical data. So instead of calling us, hey, how much did I use previously or last year, they can actually have a view of their own consumption and take control a little bit of how their water use and how that's going. So wanted to bring that up as far as some of the advancements that allowed us to with the installation of these smart meters. And we have been getting questions. We have been getting calls from our customers, about this transition. We have been operating on a bi-monthly basis, but it is for the most part industry standards, similar to gas companies, similar to other utilities, to bill on a monthly basis. We understand that this has been a transition and a little bit of change for our customer, but we certainly have been working with our customers, communicating this change, and I certainly wanted to come here and discuss it with the city council. And if there's any questions, they can certainly visit us at our office, call us, and we can talk about this transition a little bit more in detail. I don't know if this is. Mark, can you get a next slide, please? All right, and this is really the only slide that the visual kind of helps. As mentioned, your water conditions in the state of California have been great. Everybody really focuses a lot on the word drought and are we in a drought? Are we not in a drought? State of California for the past 2 years, there have not been drought conditions. But one thing to note is that Valley County, as well as the other 2 water providers, because we're not the only water provider here in the city of Baldwin Park, we're predominantly depend on groundwater consumption. So although the precipitation rates that typically determine whether you're in drought conditions don't necessarily reflect what our water resources, where they're at. If you were to look at, and it's a little small here, but if you look at that graph, the line indicates where our groundwater levels have been. We're right in between a historical low and the high point of the basin. So how are we doing? We're doing okay. And the only reason why we're doing okay is because we received 33 inches of rain last year, and we're about 19 inches of rain this year, which is only 1 inch above averages. Unfortunately, we went 10 years not being anywhere near the average, and besides last year and this year. So the snowpacks are great. I think I just read some stories that the California shouldn't see any drought conditions or supply shortage in the next 2 years because of how much rain and how much snowpack. I think Mammoth received about 12 feet of snow this past week. That's great, but we also don't know how hot. If temperatures rise up, that snowpack is just going to melt too quickly, and most of it's going to run out to the ocean because the majority of the major reservoirs in the state of California are near capacity. I think that's all I really wanted to talk about this slide, and I think the next couple slides kind of just highlight a little bit about the completion of the meter program. That the program included the replacement of 11,000 meters. We actually did this in-house with our staff. A lot of agencies that go through this process spend about $2 million to have outside staff do this work, but we actually completed this task in-house with the staff that we have. If we move to the next slide, please. The change to monthly billing. So we have been sending out bill inserts and the notifications, and I'll be going to City of Irwindale to make a presentation similar to this. And we go next slide. This is the AMI, the My360. So that's the software where customers can sign up and get a little bit better understanding of their overall water usage. There is a link through our website, but they can certainly customers can call our office and receive a little bit more information or direction. So this is newly launched. So we do have a couple of customers that have signed up. Those are our initial guinea pigs. So I want to thank our directors that were one of our first guinea pigs that signed up for this. But it does provide great information, and we certainly hope that our customers will utilize some of the benefits that this program will provide. Next slide, please. Last but not least, the district recently launched a student scholarship program. Again, more details about this program are available online, and we'll be making an announcement. Thankfully, we have a great partnership with the school district. They are aware of the district recently launched a series of what we call Aqua Academy, and this happens to be one of educational classes as well as a scholarship process that we just launched for high school students, where they can make a video with regards to trusting the tap. So this is a new program. We're excited to launch it, and we're like I said, just excited to get this off the ground and offer it the scholarship to local high school students. With that, if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them at this time. Apologize for the technical difficulties.
All right, any questions from council or staff?
Thank you.
No questions? Yeah.
I have no questions. I just want to thank
I'll
you.
try to keep my
for your
answers short.
presentation. I just want to thank you for your presentation and the continued collaboration that we have together. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Enrique and his staff, it's been great. So I appreciate all the efforts in working together, not only with staff, but with the council as well. On behalf of my board and Valley County Water District, thank you.
Jose, were the residential customers ever on a 2-month cycle billing or?
They were always from my knowledge, they have always been on a 2-month cycle.
Okay.
So this is, it's a pretty, big transition to go. But as I mentioned, Edison, gas, every single utility. And the main reason is that our staff would actually have to physically walk from meter to meter. So that requires time and effort to actually physically read it. But now that we can pull that information, we can pull that on a more consistent basis, and it reduces staff
I
time.
see.
So that is one of the biggest. So that's really why we were always on a 2-month billing cycle. But now that like I said, we have this technology, it allowed, and it does break the bill up in half.
Yeah.
Whether instead of accumulating 2 months, you get on a monthly basis. And again, reiterating that there was no adjustments or increase to the fixed charges or the water usage with this specific adjustment.
And just to add to the billing every month, I have heard from some people that are on fixed income, even though they're not used to paying every month, it's actually easier to get that bill paid, because now, even though it's the same amount, but it's less amount they have to take out of their account on a one-time payment. So I think it was a good move to do that. So thank you.
But I appreciate it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. This moment, we will move on to our consent calendar. We're going into public communication. So at this moment, I'll open up public communication. City Clerk, is there anybody looking to speak?
Yes, Mayor, we have a handful. So we will begin with Irma Morales with the Baldwin Park Library.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, city staff, and community members. I wanted to tell you about some of our upcoming programs in the next couple of weeks at Baldwin Park Library. Our No Stress Book Club will be celebrating Women's History Month this month, and on Wednesday, March the 13th, from 6 to 7, we'll be doing that program talking about books about famous women or women who wrote books. And our next program, it's Teen Create Month. So we're doing a Blossom into Spring program on Saturday, March 16th at 3 p.m. That's our teen program for the month. We're also doing free income tax preparation. So we have trained Cal Poly Pomona juniors and seniors who do the volunteer income tax programs called VITA. They will be again at the library on Saturday, March 16th from 11 to 4. They were here this last Saturday and the 2nd, and we had a great turnout. We get 10 to 15 people who can come in and do their taxes for free. So that will be going on Saturday, March 16th. We have, last but not least, our technology workshop. We're going to be talking about free ebooks and resources that we have on our library's website. That will be Friday, March the 8th from 3 to 4. And I did want one thing I forgot to say last time was it was the library's 110th anniversary. The library was established on February 27th, 1914, and of course has been at different locations throughout. But I do want to welcome everybody back to the library if you haven't been there lately. So thank you for your time.
Now we have Steve Cabrera with the fire department.
Good evening, Mayor Estrada, City Council, fellow civic leaders. My name is Steve Cabrera, and I am your Assistant Fire Chief for LA County Fire Department, Division 2. I'm actually happy to announce that your previous chief, Mike Inman, has been appointed to the position of Deputy Fire Chief, effective 1st of this month. So I am in the interim, I am your Assistant Fire Chief. With that being said, I'm also here tonight to do a public safety announcement. It's an opportune time right now when we have the time change this Sunday. All the fire departments across the nation recommend that homeowners check their smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, pressing that button on there, that test button, and making sure that the batteries are serviceable and that they're working. Throughout my 25 years in the fire service, it's quite too often that we go to homes that have had a house fire and the smoke detector does not have a battery, or sometimes the homes don't have a smoke detector at all. And unfortunately, the fatality fires that I've been on, that has been the common denominator, no smoke detectors. So we're really urging the residents of Baldwin Park to make sure, one, that they have one, and two, that they're checking the batteries. As a reminder, I do have 4 points I'd like to point out for this time of year. The goal is to prevent electrical fires. So making sure that we're utilizing extension cords and electrical equipment per the instructions on how they're supposed to be used. And also to use those appliances wisely. Make sure we're not overloading appliances or using them unattended. And for this time of year, a lot of our fires that we go on are caused by electrical portable heaters. So just keep in mind those electrical portable heaters, you got to make sure someone's in the room when they're in use. Don't ever use those when you're sleeping, when you're not able to watch it. And please don't ever place anything on top of them. That seems to be the common denominator with those. So with that said, also make sure the families are providing an escape for their families and homes. I provided a flyer on the back podium for everyone here tonight so they can take that home. And that's all I have for you. Thank you so much.
Council members, I just want to thank Chief Cabrera. He had reached out to all of us, including the chief and all the directors and myself, and we've been in engagement with them. And in fact, they set up the sandbag giveaway station at the fire station 29. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And Manny, I don't know if you've already maybe put it on the marquee, the public safety announcement, and if you keep a few key points for our residents.
Yes, we will definitely go ahead and coordinate that and connect with
And also on our social media accounts.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Next, we have Lorna Acosta.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you so much to everyone. But I'll make it really simple. I am here because I am protesting the City of Baldwin Park's refusal to give me permit to have my gas pipeline replaced because there's a gas leak since December 2022. There has been the gas company shut down my gas because I have to replace the pipes. And the reason for that, I think, is on March 2022, Carlos Ordonez came to my house and said that my neighbor, Maria and Gustavo Mendoza, have complained about me and about 3 other neighbors, complained about our patio, our storage, that it is so close to their wall. Because of that, I made arrangement with Ron Garcia, Khalil Albani, and Carlos Ordonez that I will fix these problems, but because of the expense is too expensive to do these things, I told them I'll do it one at a time. And I already fixed my storage, and I already told Ron Garcia about that. Nothing had happened since the last time I spoke. We had a meeting with the mayor on November of 2023. The mayor said that he will call us or communicate with us, but we have not heard anything. I have not heard anything from Ron Garcia about my complaints. The Mendozas themselves violated the city codes because their carport is sitting on top of my wall. And there is a 5 feet city code for your structures. And their patios is also within a foot from the fence, and their wall, the concrete wall and their property is 12 feet. And I have complained about that too. It is too high, but nothing had happened. So during the meeting with the city mayor, there were 4 of us, 4 neighbors, told him about our problems, gave him all the paperwork, and we asked him to investigate because the Mendozas have bragged to us that they were giving a lot of money to the city and that they have connections to the city. Specifically, Carlos Ordonez was mentioned. And we found out that the daughter of the Mendozas works for the city of Baldwin Park. And I think that is the reason why I was denied my gas pipeline permit. And it is cruel. It is really inhumane for me not
Excuse
to
me.
have any gas.
The 3 minutes are up. I have your number and I'll make sure that we connect with you.
Yes, please.
But the
Thank
3
you.
minutes are up. Thank you so much.
Can you state your name? What is it?
I just want
Lorna?
someone to check this corruption. Thank you.
Next, we have 2 phone comments, so I'll try to reach them.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Herrera.
City of Baldwin Park.
Excuse me.
Yes, this is Steve.
Hi, this is Chris Sines, City Clerk for the City of Baldwin Park. Just calling you for your comments. You have 3 minutes. You may begin.
Thank you. So good evening, Mayor and council members and everyone in attendance. My name is Estela Herrera and my address is 1726 Puente Avenue here in Baldwin Park. And I am here representing our gated community located on Puente and Francisquito right next to the Dollar Tree to give you a visual. And I'm here because I want to speak about the street that it's not safe. And I'll just share really quick the issues. The issue is that it's really dark. And so all the cars get sideswiped all the time. And also that people drive by Puente Avenue all the way to the Harley Davidson, which is Delwood, at a high rated speed. So what I did is I went ahead and got a police report from all the accidents that have happened just in one block, which is right in front of our community. And it's dated from February 2nd, 2020 to February 14th, 2024. We've had a total of 59 car accidents. 59, too many. And most of those accidents have had injuries, including 1 death. And so before things get more out of hand, we just want the city to be able to steady the street. We need more lighting, more like speed bumps or a sign that says residential, slow down, right? So what our community has to do, we've done everything. As a board member, we've done everything to ensure when we exit or enter to make it as safe as possible. But even when we're going to enter, we have to slow down and put our signal sign, even when we're coming by Starbucks, in order for us to safely make a right sharp turn to get into our community, because the cars behind us are coming so fast. Again, when we exit, we have to do the same thing. I personally wait until the light turns red. I can see it from far away before I even attempt to exit. So those are our concerns, or anything else that the city can can think of to make that block safer. Just one last thing I wanted to share is that I noticed the city of Irwindale has a speedometer, and it's just a standalone speedometer that is right in front of City Hall. I saw it when I was on my way to Costco, and it shows how fast the people are going, and it has the police lights, which makes people slow down. Like, wait, what's going on? Why is the police there, right? So, and that's just a standalone that they put right in the center divider, which we have that. We have like the trees in the center. So that's another possibility, that. So those are just ideas that the board wanted to share. And
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, bye. You too. Bye.
Next up, we have one more call.
Hi, Mr. Cook.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, this is our city clerk, City of Baldwin Park. You have 3 minutes.
All right. Hi, City Council and Mayor. I want to thank you for some reforms that have been made in the boxing gym, and I think that it'll make the place safer. So, but that's not why I want to thank you, and I am here today to do that and to thank you publicly. But I'm also here because of the problems that we're having with the police department. And one of those problems, last council meeting, Don Rios was talking about how no police officer showed up when thugs came to his house and did damage to his fence and took those flags down and started stomping on an American flag. Let me tell you something. I know where your police officers were that day. They were at a different city. They were having a taco party. Guess what? There were 3 police or 4 police cars out there, and I saw them, and they were all gorging themselves on that food. They're not even at the city of Baldwin Park at that time. They're all having a good time at this taco fiesta instead of helping our citizens in this city. And that's not right. Not only is that not right, I know that council members and the chief, they wanted to deny these allegations. They don't even look into them. Guess what? I had pictures. I had pictures with their plate numbers on them. And, I'm tired. I'm tired of the cover up. I'm tired of not looking into bona fide allegations. We're very credible people. We've already gone in an FBI investigation on this city once. Don't make us do it again. When we say this is happening, it needs to be investigated. Things need to change. There needs to be transparency. And we're not out to punish anybody, but they need to be disciplined. And if they can't change, then they need to be let go. That's just how it is. Another time I was running at night and Jonathan Montenegro, he flashes me with this light. I didn't do anything. There's no probable cause to stop me. You know what happens after that? And I say, what's your name? He goes, go call 911. I couldn't figure out his name, but I was lucky because guess what? 2 days later, you got a taco truck in another city. And guess what? He's with some lady. It looks like he's having an affair with her. This is how he's using city time. Guess what? I found out that there might be a permanent restraining order against him. These are the kind of police officers we're having. And then, well, you know what I do? I go ask for a complaint from the chief of police, and he goes, there's no way to complain about him. You can't add that email to his file. Finally, I do get a complaint. Josh Hendricks, he knows about it. He says, oh, don't make a big deal out of this. And you know what else he says? He says something else. He goes, oh, he has the right to be there, and we don't need to look into it any further. No, that's not right. He needs to be reprimanded. Why is he doing that? You know, that's city time. And then another thing to happen, besides that, is, no, I'm just tired of this. I'm tired of the cover up, and that needs to stop right now. I'm tired of that, and there needs to be accountability, and yeah, there needs to be more that's done. He needs to be reprimanded, looked into, and
3 minutes are up. Thank you so much for your time.
all right, thank you.
Take care. Mayor, that concludes all comments received.
Great, thank you for that, City Clerk. So at this moment, if you didn't fill out a speaker card and you would like to make a comment, now is your time.
Elected officials, appointed officials, Jesse Plata. Now, I usually come here for positive news, good news. Seems like half the time we don't have that here. I will go back to last meeting. Now, there were charges, pretty vicious charges, verbal, made with Mr. Manny. Simple question. Was he cleared? Was the investigation done? If he was cleared, I would like to know. Second thing that I would like to talk about, Mr. Rios. Now, Mr. Rios goes out there. He lives here in the city, same way as I do. I go out in my city, I shop, I go out and eat, and it seems like I see more violations that any of you see. Now, this thing about the flag, I don't know what it was, but I see businesses that have flags out there in the United States that should be replaced. Does anybody ever notice that? Third thing that I would like to go, last meeting, you gave the okay to somebody that's going to bring in a shop to sell marijuana, just another drug. And we already have a lot of people that are weak in their mind and in their body. All these homelesses they're in that situation because they're weak. That's the way they want to. And you're making more drugs available for them to be using. What's it going to be next year? From something that's legal right now, something stronger. And that is the pattern that it works with drugs. Today you have one beer, tomorrow you have two. When you start smoking one joint, it's one today, two tomorrow. Smoking one before they get in the car. And it just leads to harder drugs. Now, for 175,000, is that what you're sending out there to the community, to the kids, that it's okay? Seems like you're all, that people can come and buy you off for money. Thank you.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor Estrada and staff. I'm very happy to see in the agenda the improves you are going to do for our facilities, especially for parks and recreation. This is so important for having our families and kids healthy. And I see many of these come from the measure BP. That is great because we work hard to pass that measure. And I also, I don't know, since when I start to stop to send the invitation for the stakeholders meetings, oversight committee. But the thing is that the one recommendation I have as an former PE teacher to save some money or put apart some money for grant the kids in our community to give some money to come to our programs. I last year and the past year I saw many of my neighbors send the kids to programs in El Monte, in the city of Monte, because they have free swimming classes. So that is amazing. And we need, as community, our income and our families, many of their families are under poverty level. So maybe we can consider that part to improve their children's lives and the families' lives. And other concerns I have is how much are you paying our employees and the parks and recreation employees. My daughter was there working there for in the high school years, and that was amazing. She contributed to pay our rent really because we passed for very hard time financially. But I see very enthusiastic children there, like my daughter 5 or 7 years ago. And they deserve having the right salary in their pocket, because that motivate them to continue working with the city events and city city sports and doing that. So thank you so much for that, and this is my comment for these items.
Right. So at this moment, if nobody is looking to speak, we will go ahead and close public communication.
Just wanted to make a clarification and to provide information. The city's marijuana program, the permit that was approved at the last meeting, that came about as a result of the requirements of Measure CB. It was an initiative measure that was voted on by Baldwin Park voters. And so the city has a duty to carry out the requirements of that measure. It does require us to consider those retail marijuana operations when we receive the permits requests. As long as they comply with those requirements, then we have an obligation to review those. And if they pass all the requirements, we have an obligation to grant those permits. So more information is on the city's website if you want to know about what where those locations are and what the requirements are. I just wanted to make that clarification. In addition, with respect to the complaints that were made at the last meeting regarding some of the city facilities, and in fact, some of the information that was made about Mr. Carrillo, yes, I think you heard the speaker before that talk about the city addressing those, and we are in the process of addressing those, the complaints that we heard. It doesn't mean we can do everything that the speaker wants in many cases, but certainly every time we receive a complaint about any issue, it is looked at and it is forwarded to the appropriate departments and action is taken. Sometimes there is action that we can't take because it is beyond our ability, our legal ability, or our financial ability to do something about. But certainly when there are instances in which we can do something, we will certainly try to do that. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you for that, City Attorney. So we are at our consent calendar, and I believe we have 6 items, but items 3 are, we have 6 items, and items 4 through 6 are going to be they're going to be changed to the next.
Yeah, we're recommending that you hold off on those. We're going to be taking a look at those again, and we may be making some modifications.
Right, so we have items, 1 through 3. If there are any questions or items, council looking to pull, now is your time. Not, I'll make a motion to approve items 1 through 3, excluding 4 through 6, and tabling those to the next council meeting, or whenever they're ready to be brought back.
A second.
There's a second. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Avila. Councilmember Damian,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ayala,
Yes.
Mayor Estrada,
Yes.
motion carries 4-0.
Great, thank you for that, City Clerk. At this moment, we are at reports of officers. We do have item number 7, recommendation of approval of funding from Measure BP for Stakeholders Oversight Committee for the architectural services for concept report for proposed sports complex. Is there any questions, comments, or concerns from City Council or staff? If so, now is your time. All righty, so I will make a motion to approve item number 7. Can I have a second?
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Damian,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ayala,
Yes.
Mayor Estrada,
Yes.
motion carries 4-0.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. Item number 8, approve the requisition of 11 new police vehicles to the city's lease program, Measure BP Stakeholders Oversight Committee, SOC recommendation. Is there any questions, comments, concerns from City Council or staff? Now is your time.
One quick clarification, Enrique, 'cause I wasn't at the SOC meeting. So with this one, we're not gonna allocate the full amount upfront. We're gonna allocate one year after year up to year 5.
Yeah, so it comes in annual disbursements, Councilmember Damian. However, the accounting will reflect the fact that you have authorized the total
The
amount.
total amount, perfect. Okay. If no one has anything else, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Avila, Councilmember Damian, Mayor Pro Tem Ayala,
Yes.
Mayor Estrada,
Yes.
motion carries 4-0.
Item number 9, consider and approve a transit services agreement with Southland Transit Incorporated for bus operations and maintenance of the city's dial-a-ride and fixed route transit program. And approve the compressed natural gas CNG refueling agreement with the city of El Monte to support the city's transit program. Item number 9, any questions, comments, or concerns from City Council or staff?
I just have one question. I know that this is for a 1-year contract. Before the year's over, before this comes back to us, to either extend or whatever it may be, are we gonna be able to have some type of study done in regards to the routes before we make a decision again in a year?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're already engaged with one of our on-call consultants to prepare that study.
Perfect. Okay,
Great.
Anybody else have any questions?
So I know that, so the whole point of the 1-year agreement is that we keep transit moving, but we also expect some sort of new path forward to better our transit system before we renew this contract. And that's just for.
That is correct. So this contract that we're approving tonight will start bringing in some of those amenities like real-time GPS tracking so that residents know where the bus is at and they can plan their day better or their trip better. We're also going to have an online route map available. So those technology components were not part of the original contract, but even though this is a little bit more of a stopgap contract, it'll include some of those technology improvements. So that starts the ball rolling and moving into a sort of like a reimagining of our transit system. And once the study is completed, we will come back to the city council to report our findings and ask for direction.
This contract includes the expansion of the dial-a-ride as you had requested.
And so speaking of dial-a-ride, the problem is that our dial-a-ride buses are not in operation. We're relying on STI to bring in their shuttles. So after we met with STI, we talked about, these shuttles, they're meant for like 15 passengers at one time, and they're only carrying 3 to 4. So we're carrying this full-time, we're driving around with this, full-size shuttle when we could be doing a dial-a-ride transit system with something more smaller, more compact, like a minivan that's wheelchair accessible. And so right now that our buses aren't operable, I think it's the right time to look into that type of upgrade.
Yes, that is definitely part of the plan to looking at rideshare opportunities or other types of programs that other cities are already using. But I do want to mention that the Dial-A-Ride buses that are in operation right now, one of them is the cities and another one is on loan from STI, and these are very old.
Yeah.
And so we already received a grant from the VW suit, and so that is going to cover the purchase for one. And we're actively seeking for grant funding or other possibilities so that we can get the second.
Yeah.
And once we determine what type of service that's going to be, we're going to move forward with that purchase.
Can we, I mean, if it's okay with council, we'll give direction to explore the purchasing opportunities, even through whatever funds we may have available to really push on that process. Cause I know Dial-A-Ride, the schedule was already one of the biggest issues, and then not having a reliable transportation or a source that makes it only increases our costs, right? When we can be driving a smaller vehicle, less gas, less maintenance, driving a full-time shuttle. And also explore the possibilities of our regular transit where we're, like, I think I mentioned that last time, we're driving a full-size bus. I don't know, how many seats does a full-size bus?
28.
So 28, every time I see the trolley pass by, there's only 3 or 4 people on it. And that's only going one way. When I see it coming back, it's empty. But we have, a full-size bus driving around with nobody in it, and it's costing us about $100 an hour per shuttle, right? So how we can lower our cost on that, because I know
You're
that.
correct. So yeah, the trolley express line is our lowest utilized transit service.
Yeah. So if that's okay, we can add that direction for you to explore the possibilities of purchasing or replacing a Dial-A-Ride Transit, and maybe even potentially some of our shuttles, so that they meet more of our actual need, right? And making everything more efficient. That's okay with that, council, then we can make that motion to add that direction and then approve the contract for the year.
If I recall, that's why we're doing the 1 year, because we're going to look into all those issues. I recall the conversation that we had to see what ways we can better serve our community with more affordable, more consistent, either Dial-A-Ride or the bus in the areas that are needed the most. You're going to do those kinds of studies. So that's why we're doing the 1 year contract to work on the services, correct?
That is
I
correct.
just wanted to clarify that's the whole idea behind this 1 year contract, to make sure everything else is running better and come up with better ideas. Thank you.
All right, so that is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
The clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Avila. Councilmember Damian,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ayala,
Yes.
Mayor Estrada.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
All right, so we are at item number 10, continued hearing to review bidder protest and authorize the award of construction contract for the Barnes Park multi-benefit stormwater capture project. So, City Attorney? Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor and City Council. At your last meeting, you reviewed the components of the award of contract for the Barnes Park multi-benefit stormwater capture project. In addition to reviewing the components of the project, you were also considering a recommendation from your staff that you review whether the lowest bidder, Zusser Company, was a responsible bidder. You provided all bidders, including Zusser, the opportunity to rebut those claims in a hearing. And so you conducted a hearing and gave everybody an opportunity to rebut any claims. In addition, you received a bid protest that was submitted by Casa Construction, and you allowed Casa Construction to make its case regarding those bid protests. At the conclusion of the hearing, you continued this matter to tonight. And so before you tonight is this project once again, along with the recommendation from your staff, which is to, number one, reject the bid protest submitted by Casa Construction, and two, if you believe that Zusser Company has provided sufficient evidence to rebut the concerns that it's a non-responsible bidder, the City Council could award the contract for the project to Zusser Construction. Alternatively, if the council believes that Zusser did not provide sufficient evidence to rebut concerns that it's a non-responsible bidder, the City Council should award the contract to Nationwide Contracting Company. in the amount of $17,199,044. In addition, the final recommendation is that you authorize the Director of Finance to appropriate $7,635,690 from the fund to make any necessary budget adjustments. So in essence, what we are asking you to do is to recall the hearing components. And if you believe that Zusser at that time provided sufficient evidence to rebut staff's concerns that were outlined in the last staff report, then you should award the bid to Zusser as they are the lowest bidder. If not, then we would recommend that you award it to the second lowest bidder, which is Nationwide Contracting Services. That concludes the report.
Mayor, I would like to make a move to close the public hearing. I would also like to reject the bid protest submitted by Casa Construction and award the Barnes Park Stormwater Capture Project to Susser Construction and authorize the Director of Finance to appropriate $7,635,690 from the fund and make any necessary budget adjustments.
Great. That's a motion.
I second.
That is my motion.
And there's a second.
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Damian,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ayala,
Yes.
Mayor Estrada,
Abstain.
motion carries 301.
Great. Thank you for that, City Clerk. So at this moment, the item number 10, bidding protest has been rejected, and we will go with the first recommendation, the lowest bidder. And so we just want to clarify and make sure that everybody understands that we do expect everybody to meet their contractual obligations under this approved contract, and we will, and we expect the highest quality of work during this.
And if I may add that we definitely want to make sure that we're A, overseeing the project, and B, making sure that we're completing this in a timely manner.
All right, we are down to item number 11, fiscal year 2023-24 mid-year budget review. Rose, our finance director, will have the floor.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. Tonight, I'm going to present you the mid-year budget review and year-end projections for fiscal year 2023 and 24. Next, please. This evening, I will mainly focus on the general fund operating overview due to the limitation of time that we have. And I am very pleased to inform you that based on what we have received and see in January 2024, we projected that we are going to have 2.57 million increase in the general fund revenue. I will go into more details regarding the increase. And our total expenditure expecting about $899,600 increase. Next, please. This slide will show you in more details breakdown for all the general fund revenue categories. And based on what we have seen, we might have a slight decrease in the property tax. I believe it's due to the property tax adjustment that we have seen in the last couple years.
Rose,
Of the adjustment
Rose,
have.
if I may, and I'm sorry, I would like to ask you as you're going through there, so we won't have to go back.
Yes.
But just really quick,
Yes.
because I have two questions on these first two line items.
Yes.
So on the property taxes, you're saying that the decrease of $90,000 is due to the property tax. Are you talking about the county assessors readjusting property values going down?
Doesn't mean going down. And for example, we expected a large increase from the value of the house. in the last couple years, and the adjustment came in. For example, houses from 2008 or 2009, they are average 200 or 300,000 per house in the last few years, and they went up to 400 or 500 per house. Then it took some time to the county to adjust the increase. And I believe they came in the last year and the year before. But this is only a projection based on what we have received in January. And by June, I hope we will get what we have originally projected. But we just want to go to the conservative way based on the receipt that we have received in January.
So you're just estimating this as a decrease, but yeah, because if anything, this should be an
It's
increase.
a rough estimate based on what we have received as of January.
Yeah, because,
I haven't seen a decrease in the taxes, so that's why it's a little.
yeah, and as a matter of fact, some of them,
It's just a rough estimate, just in this area.
okay,
As you may see, in other area, we have seen increases.
yeah. Well, I mean, because my biggest concern is that the property tax and sales tax are some of our biggest revenues, but
Yes.
hopefully we get in June, we get to see that go up because I know property taxes have gone up
Right.
instead of
But
down.
with the original estimate and projection, we already increased in the adopted budget to compare to prior year. We estimate we are going to receive 5.9 million.
Okay,
In the original adopted budget. In that dollar amount, we already add the increases there.
okay.
Yes.
And then really quick on the
So
sales.
overall, we are not saying we have decreased, but it's just based on the original adopted number. But
you're
in
being-
the adopted number, we already put increases
Yeah.
there from prior year.
So you're being conservative.
Yes,
Okay. Now, my second question on this page is for the sales tax.
yes,
So there's an increase of 152,918. Measure BP does not come into play here, right? There's
Oh.
no money for Measure BP in this line item.
yes.
Okay, that's
Yes.
my
I
clarification.
will present you a separate page on the Measure BP.
Okay, now I got that one, but I just wanted to make sure it wasn't in here. Thank you, thank you.
You're
And so the
very
public
welcome.
Can understand too.
Yes, and the utilities user tax, we expecting to have about $200,000 increase, and property tax in lieu of VLF, we expecting to have about $530,000 increase. Also, the franchise fees, we expected to have about $220,000 increase, and we also expected to have about $300,000 increase in the category of use of money and property. Mainly that increase is from the estimate we have from the interest earning. We have consistently oversee and maintain the cash flow almost on a daily, if not a weekly basis, put all the idle money, high interest earning institute or banks. And the other big increase you see here is charges for services. It will increase for $1,078,000. As you might recall, the 1 million increase came from the one-time contract modification fees from waste management. That's only one-time increase fee. That's what making this large amount of increase. The rest increases are mainly from the design review fees and recreation fees that we have received or expected to receive. The other increase for $178,331 is from the miscellaneous category, and they are from the SB 211 pass-through, which is from the former RDA project area. This concludes the general fund increase, projected increase of $2,569,000. Any questions? Next, please. This pie chart and shows you what are the big portion from the revenue, general fund revenue in dollar amount. Next, please. This pie chart shows you the general fund revenue breakup in percentages. Next, please. And in this slide, we provide you the summary of the general fund expenditure by category. With the personnel category, we projected about $146,200 increase. Maintenance, we expected to have an increase of $424,500 increase. For the internal service charges, we expected to have about $36,000 decrease. For the contractual category, we expected to have about $350,000 increase. Please feel free to stop me anytime you have any questions.
Rose, in the contractual, what does that include?
The contractual, mainly, I'm going to give you some example. The company that use such as Motorola and some phone companies or software maintenance, and in these increases, they are mainly from the Motorola Solutions and Spillman for the police department. And also we expecting about $200,000 increase from the animal control services from the LA County. Yes, this will bring us the estimate total of $899,000 in the general fund expenditure. Next, please. This slide mainly shows you the transfer from general fund to subsidize or cover the cost for the parks maintenance funds, and also transfer $588,000 to cover the COB lease payments for the bonds that we issued many years ago for the community center or Morgan Park area. Next, please. This pie chart shows you the general fund expenditure by category in dollar amount. Next, please. This pie chart shows you the general fund expenditure by category in percentage. Next, please. This slide shows you the expenditure by department. As you may see, administration have an estimate increase for about $19,600. For the community development, have about $6,557 decrease. For finance, we have about $13,243,000. We have about $13,243 decrease. For the police department, we expected $446,754 increase. For the public works, we expected $9,618 increase. For the recreation, expected to have about $423,112 increase. For the non-departmental, we expected about $20,000 increase. I am going to go in little bit more details for each department's increase or decrease. Next, please. This pie chart shows you the general fund expenditure by department in dollar sign. Next, please. This pie chart shows you the general fund expenditure by department in percentage. Next, please. This slide shows you the overall picture with general fund expenditure for the administration. We expected about $19,600 increase for administration, mainly due to the personnel request that was approved on July 5th, 2023. Plus additional adjustment based on actual costs. Next slide, please. This slide shows you the overall picture of general fund costs for the community development. We expected about small decrease in the amount of $6,500, which is due to personnel allocation.
Really quick, Rose. So community development had a decrease due to personnel allocation, but is this already included with the additional personnel that we've authorized for them to hire?
Yes, because
good.
the adjustment, for example, some of maybe about 50 or 1/3 or half of community development, they use special revenue funds
it.
such as housing fund, CDB,
Yeah,
and other special revenue funds.
perfect. Okay. This is great. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Next will be the finance department. The main reason we have a decrease, for example, the very first line item, salary and benefit, is due to some personnel saving from the vacancies. During the end of last fiscal year and the beginning of this fiscal year, experienced some personnel turnover, and that's why we have some savings from the vacancies. And also because of the large personnel turnover, about 4 positions, and we have to use a temporary help from the consultant company. So we reallocate the savings in the amount of $16,000 to for the temporary consultant services. And we also reallocate the $11,500 for the software to meet the GASB 87 and GASB 96 requirement to the IT internal service fund. If no question, we go to the next slide. This slide shows you the overall picture of the general fund expenditures from police department. And we have about $89,700 increases for the police department, and mainly due to the personnel requests that approved in July 2023. And also some adjustment, which means combination of savings from 8 vacancies and also overtime and combination in here. And also they have incurred some costs from a large amount of scale purging and archive of old records and some payments to help us for the uniform allowances. We also have about $109,000 increase for the consultant services. As I mentioned earlier, which include in the contractual category, and mainly is to pay for the invoices and increase from Motorola Solution and Spillman's. And the consultant services, we expected about $200,000 increase, which is for the estimate cost increase from animal control services from the LA County Animal Control. And due to the vacancy saving and personnel allocation, we have a small decrease in the internal service charge for information and support. Also about $30,000 decrease or adjustment in the internal service fund for the insurance. And we expected about $69,600 increase for the material and supplies, such as the uniforms and vests for new hires for the replacement academy uniforms and equipment due to staff turnover. We also expecting $15,000 increase to cover the utility costs due to increased cost of services. This will conclude the overview for the general fund expenditures for the police department. Any questions?
Rose, I have a quick question.
Yes.
You were mentioning that there is an increase in quite a bit of areas here, but you mentioned in terms of vacancy savings, but then you said there was an increase in overtime, because I know that's always a concern. Do you know offhand what is the amount for overtime, or is that something that I could obtain from you?
And it will be a combination from many cost center, mainly is for the patrol services. All chief can chime in and provide little bit details for which areas that
Some of it's,
have the use for most of the overtime.
yes, Mayor Pro Tem, some of the overtime is from patrol and also with the vacancies in dispatch and the vacancies in records. Is also part of the overtime that we've allotted. The one thing that we did do is because of the purging project that we had to undertake, purging hadn't been done since 2009 to 2020. So there was the purging had not been done, and it took quite a bit of effort and a lot of overtime from the records unit to produce to review all the records. And then we had a consultant to come in and also to assist us to make sure that all the records that were required to purge met the standard, and then went through the city attorney as well. So that's part of the overtime that we've expended because of that, because of the purging and dispatch.
And I recognize the fact that there's need for overtime, and I appreciate you telling me in what areas. I guess my question is maybe directed more towards Rose. Exactly how much is that? So maybe that's something that I'll specifically ask you in terms of the dates, how much overtime we've accrued, and if we're on budget for that, or where are we at with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I can provide you more detail in line items, where
Okay.
they come from.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
However, this time, as you may see, the number is about together with all area is about 89,000 because of the vacancy. It helps to adjust the total cost.
Chief,
And I'm sorry,
Oh,
I'm
go-
sorry,
sorry.
Councilmember Damian, and I'm looking at from July 1, correct?
July.
This is
July
23, 24, right?
Projection is to is covering the period from July 1st, 2023 to June 30, 2024.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Sorry, Councilmember.
No, thank you. Chief, you mentioned the purge, you said, did I hear this correctly? You said from 2009 to 2020,
Yes, sir.
it had not been done?
Yes, sir.
So you're telling me that every chief under you never bothered to take the time to handle this?
No, sir.
Ridiculous. Thank you, Chief.
Next page, please. This slide is for the public works. We expected to have an increase for $9,618. The increase is due to the overtime and professional services and supplies for the holiday parade event. Next, please. This slide is the overall picture for the general fund expenditures for recreation and community services. We expecting to have about $54,000 increase due to the personnel request approved on July 5th, 2023. And we also expecting a $28,000 increase to replace the carpet in police department dispatch area. And also we have a $45,000 increase to fund the holiday parade approved by City Council also. And also we have a small increase in general service charge for the insurance based due to the personnel request adjustment. We also expecting a $35,000 increase for the emergency roof repair at Senior Center water damage that happened couple weeks ago. We also expecting about $100,000 increase, mainly due to the rising costs for the maintenance and repairs for the city facilities. We also expecting about $154,000 increase to cover electricity and utilities due to the overall cost increase.
Rose?
Yes.
And just to clarify for the funding for the holiday parade,
Yes.
because there was more involved to it because we added more activities at the end of the parade. That's why also, correct? That's right. It was just a lot more fun. Okay.
Yes. The next page, please. This page covers the expenditures for non-departmental, and we expecting about $5,000 increase, mainly to cover the Measure BP stakeholder oversight committee supplies and materials. Want to add $5,000 there to cover any miscellaneous expenses relate to the Measure BP stakeholder oversight committee events. We also expect increase in the amount of $6,100 to cover the California Contract City Association deal for the current fiscal year.
I have a question, Rose.
Yes.
How much, what are the association dues exactly? How much is it for the contract cities? And what exactly publications do we do for this, to spend this much money?
We categorize all the publication or dues under this category. Whenever we have to pay dues, we group them in this line item. And
do you know what the dues are? How much the dues ticket? Do you know that?
We have a number of them. The one that has been in question, and I'm glad you brought this up because we probably should have it presented to you. SCAG, which we had been members of, whether we have some back fees that we owe them, and we're questioning whether we should even continue our membership in SCAG. I want to say they're 15,000.
What do we get out of being a member?
Well, they do offer quite a number of services. They help us with data, but I cannot tell you that we get enough.
And have we used them? I mean, do we really need it?
It's questionable whether you say, well, should a city be a member of SCAG?
What are the benefits? If you can get us that, the benefits of
Yeah.
being a member, the pros and cons, and bring it back to us.
We will.
And just more detail on what type of publications do we bring out and where are those publications? I don't recall seeing them. Just more
Yeah.
detail on that, please.
yes.
You can bring all that
Absolutely.
back.
Yes, after the meeting, I will email you the list of line item breakdown for this whole category. Yes.
I know some people may think 53,000 isn't a lot. It adds up, so we can use it elsewhere. We can
Yes.
cut it.
Yeah.
And we also have increase in $9,216 is to fund the SB 90 claims. And we also contribute some help assistance to St. John's Community Fashion Show and the Senior Cultural Arts Dancing Group that has been approved by City Council recently.
And they deserve it.
Yeah. Like you said, they are fun. Senior has lots of fun and more activities to do. Next, please. This will conclude the general fund projected summary in the total amount of $39,101,544 and expenditure $37,325,000 and $184, which will bring estimate surplus in the amount of $1,776,000 and $360. This surplus mainly contributed from the one-time contract modification fee from the waste management. You might not see this over 1 million surplus every year.
We'll find other ways.
Next, please. This is the bar chart for the general fund reserve balance. As you may see, it is a good news. The city continue build up some reserve in the general fund. Next, please. I would like to give you a summary of the Measure BP. Since Measure BP was approved by the Bowen Park voters, we have received about $4,667,000 as of January, we will expect and we feel confident that we are going to receive $6 million by the end of June 30, 2024, as we originally adopted in the budget. We also expected to have about $15,000 increase from the interest earning with the money we receive and as of today. Any question on the
Rose,
method?
really quick. So right now we have 4.667 million
As of January.
as of January of this year.
Yes, this full projection are based on the data as of the end of January.
So it could very well be that we will surpass the 6 million from here to June.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Rose.
Yes, because we have been we have invested the money that we receive. So we expecting to get a good amount of interest earning.
Can we get it up to 10 million? That's our goal, Rose.
It's possible.
That's our goal. Let's try to get it to 10 million.
Yes. Next page, please.
Rose, before you go on, I'm just looking that this has possibly been the biggest increase we've had
Yes.
from 2015 that you show here.
Yes.
This year it looks like the biggest increase.
Yes, it's a great, wonderful news for this city.
So it can be done what Councilmember Damon just said.
Yes, it's
possible.
such awesome, wonderful, great news, because it's not just this year. It's going to be for a long, long time, for generation and generation to come to benefit them. Yeah, this is just awesome news. I cannot say enough to express how happy I am for the city. Thank you. Next page, please. Back to this slide will show you the general fund revenue and other funds projection. Due to the time limitation, I'm not going into detail for all the special revenue and other funds. And however, we expected to have a total revenue in the amount of $87 million for the special revenue and other funds, with an increase in about $18,600,000. And also expenditure in the amount of $104,916,900, and with a total increase of 24.5 million. The increase mainly due to many capital projects that the city is working on this year. There are so many great big capital projects happening, such as the Zogaro Park and Barnes Park. That's part of the 24 million increases. And with the special revenue, I would like to bring you attention about the ARPA fund. I would like to provide you a little quick update on the ARPA fund. As you may know, we received $22,917,000, and we have allocated and appropriate a full 50% for the community program and projects. Yeah, I just want to provide you the update. And 91% from the city side that have been allocated. And if you would like, I can email you in the next couple weeks with all the overall is we have about 76 programs and projects that have been appropriated from the ARPA fund.
Yes, you can send us that. That would be great. please.
And then,
Yes.
now that you mentioned that, I know that we wanted to bring this back so that we can see what programs the money's not being used for, so that we can reallocate that funding to elsewhere where I guess there's a greater need.
Yes.
So would you guys be able to bring that back to us so we can look to see what we can reallocate?
And I can, if you would like, I can add it to the agenda item. So you can see the full pictures for all the programs that we have done or we have spent or allocated, what's the available balance. However, we already fully allocated the community portion, the $11 million. And however, some of them has not been utilized.
Right, that's why we want to look at all that.
Yes. I can bring that back to the second meeting in April.
Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So we did,
Thank
we did
you.
good direction on that at the beginning of the year. So it's not just, we want to make sure that it's also obligated.
Yes.
Because if it's not,
I will bring you the full picture from day one and to today.
Yes.
So you can see everything has happened, what's the remaining balance. Because we have to obligate all of the remaining balance at the end of December 2024. Otherwise, the Treasury Department will retrieve the uncommitted fund back, and which I would never let that happen. I would never let that happen. I promise you. Next page, please. So finally, I want to thank the Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council for your continued efforts and commitment and support to make this city a better and safer place for the residents and the community. And also, I want to thank the finance staff for their help and the executive team who has assisted with the preparation of this mid-year budget review and fiscal ending June 30, 2024 projection. And thank you again.
Thank you, Rose.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you because I think that, at least since I've been on the council, this is one of the best budget presentations that you've given us to date. So I'm looking forward to that June budget where we can see the numbers increase. But I just want to say thank you to you and to all the staff for the collaboration. So keep up the good work. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you. Thank you for all the council and mayor's continued guidance. Thank you.
great. Thank you, Rose. So at this moment, we are down to the city council, city clerk, city treasurer, staff, and community requests. Nobody put anything in there, but I did want to ask that we seek out partnerships
Just a
to
review.
make our streets safer. I know that we heard about Puente Avenue today, and I believe I had given direction on that. The last meeting, Puente and Ballpark Avenue Puente and Ballpark Boulevard have actually been, very dangerous lately. And then, of course, we did see multiple accidents just on Ballpark Boulevard alone. And then, of course, as well on Puente Avenue. I know that we've had other partners like Active SGV
Yeah.
on certain things, but I've also seen that Active SGV does partnerships with other cities where they go out and they have like volunteer events and they help
Yeah.
either restrip the sidewalks or crosswalks and just make them more walkable and safer for everybody. So that is something that we could potentially pursue just so that we can get things going. And I know that, our staff is pretty busy, so it helps you get things done. So if that's okay with council, something we can look into.
Sorry, I'm very happy with the good news I can bring. I forgot. Every time I talk about Measure BP, I'm just overjoyed. And I have goosebumps. I'm just overjoyed. Thank you.
Okay, you want me? Sure. Go ahead. I will go. Mayor, did you have anything else? Okay, I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the fiscal 2023-24 mid-year budget review.
I'll second.
Oh, A second one. And authorize Director of Finance to complete all necessary budget amendments and appropriations. Is that good?
Second.
City Clerk, roll
You
call,
could try.
please.
Councilmember Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Damian,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ayala,
Yes.
Mayor Estrada,
Yes.
motion carries 4-0.
All right, thank you for that. So like, we are done with official city business. Any questions, comments, or concerns from council,
Mayor?
city staff? Yes, Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you. I just wanted I know that we're going to be having our Arbor Day celebration as we do every year, Manny. And I know that last year there was discussion regarding a tree planting for Terry Muse. And then we were deciding, because she has a building in her name, if that was going to be something, because we really didn't do the tree. But if we're going to include her, I guess I'd like to ask for consensus for that. But also I would like to, if possible, this year include our school board member who passed, who served on this Recreation Community Service Commission with me for 2 terms, a lifelong resident and a product of our community, Deanna Coronado Robles. I would like her to be included as well. I'd like my council colleagues' consensus to include her in having a tree also planted in her name. And I don't know if there is anyone else that we were looking at doing.
I think it's well deserved. I will support both Terry Muse and Deanna Robles.
As well as I.
Thank you. So Manny, if you can do what we need to do, and we'll reach out to their families so they know.
Yes, and we will absolutely do that. Marie Contreras is on the list as
Who's
well.
Ariana?
We are just trying to finalize the details with Mr. Contreras. And I'd also like to inquire if the council has an appetite for former council member and city clerk Linda Algar, who passed away this past year as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Great, thank you for that, Mayor Pro Tem. Good points. Any other comments, questions, concerns, council, staff, city clerk?
Mayor, City Council, and Enrique, on behalf of the Eastside Little League, just extending the invitation to our opening day on March 17th. I know that my invite went to my junk mailbox, so just look in your junk mailbox for that invite. Regardless, everybody's invited.
March 17th.
Sunday, March 17th, at noon at behind Vineland Elementary School. And if you're in the mood for pizza tomorrow, we're having a fundraiser at 399 Pizza Company between 4 and 10. Pop in, grab a pizza or two, drop your receipt in the bowl, and we'll get part of the net profits from tomorrow's fundraiser. So that's it.
Do we have an opening day for any other leagues, little leagues?
Yes, I believe both American and National are on March 16th, the Saturday before our event.
At the same time?
No, I believe one's at 10 a.m. and one's at noon. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, they're usually separated, and they are on Saturday, the 16th. I believe it's Nationals first, like if I'm correct, City Clerk, and then it'll be American.
Just so we can make sure we have those dates. Mhm.
Yes, noon on the 17th. Also St. Patrick's Day. So Baldwin Park National will be at 10 a.m. Behind Olive. And I don't see a posting for Baldwin Park American, so I will have to confirm and get back to you guys.
Thank you.
Great. So we are at the end of our city council meeting. I will move to adjourn. Any objections? Not, meeting is adjourned. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody, and thank you.
Good night.
Good night, for real.